What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Weekly Bangers. This week we'll be listening to The Wall by Pink Floyd. This is the music review channel where each week we spin a list of 500 albums from the Rolling Stones Top 500 list and review them. Feel free to listen along. Yeah, as I said, this week we have The Wall, and I'll go over to Mike for a quick background on the album.
The Wall is a rock opera album by Pink Floyd. It was released in 1979. It's a concept album.
Rock opera. Did you make that up, or is that
Yeah. No, I did
Wikipedia?
actually. No, that was me actually.
Yeah, that's a good way to. It's a good way to put it.
It wasn't me.
Oh.
It was largely conceived by the bassist Roger Waters, and it is based on his life, exaggerated, of course. The album explores themes like war, abandonment, fame, and mental health. It is number 129 on the Rolling Stones list of the greatest albums of all time. Grant, what did you think of it? Because you obviously hadn't heard of the album before, so I'm actually really excited to hear what you... this is not a good sign, by the way, so far.
No, not at all.
Why, for the review?
No, from your reaction.
Your reaction there doesn't sound like you enjoyed it.
Oh, no.
Oh, right, okay.
I was trying to... Yeah, no, I love this album.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
this album is amazing, fantastic.
Yes.
Even as much as he hyped it up, it was still fantastic. I tried not to go in with really high expectations, but it still sort of blew me through the roof. Yeah, it was so good. I vividly remember my first sort of experience with it, and I think it's best when you give it a bit of time and attention. It's obviously not the shortest album, and it's very story-like. I mean, it's more like a play or a movie with how much story elements are in it. So you kind of have to, you don't have to, but it's best enjoyed when you kind of sit down and really delve into it and what it's trying to say. And that's how I did it the first time. It just blew me away completely. I think as far as album experience from start to finish, this is probably the best I've ever had, to be honest.
Wow.
So
that's class to hear. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not to say that the songs individually are my favorite ever. As many there's really good ones on it too.
Yeah.
But I think it's more so the album experience I'm referring to. It's just phenomenal. If you give it the time to really explore it. So yeah, loved it.
Class.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Yeah, I didn't actually expect it to be so highly esteemed by...
Yeah.
It's just different. It's different from any other album. I've not listened to many concept albums, but it's also different to the type of music I usually engage with, really.
It's just kind of different to all other music, really.
Yeah.
They're very much their own unique thing, Pink Floyd.
What do you boys think?
I've listened to this album quite a lot of times, except this time listening to it, I realized it's a complete fraud of an album. It's absolutely terrible. No, it's obviously a fantastic album.
Alright.
I would agree with it being the perfect, basically the perfect album. Yeah, it's the best listening experience as far as an album goes, I think, as well.
Yeah.
The way the storyline progresses, and even instrumentally, how every song is intertwined. It's basically just one long song. It's basically the length of a movie too, so it is pretty much a movie.
Yeah.
Probably hence they actually did make a movie, The Wall. So, yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
Long time ago, yeah, kind of. But I'd probably rewatch it. I don't think it's supposed to be fantastic anyway. Not really too bothered by it, but it is worth watching, I'd say.
Weekly Bangers movie night coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good individual songs on it too. But yeah, it is more about the whole experience. And yeah, fantastic. Completely agree. What about you, Mike?
It's not my favorite album of all time. It might not even be my favorite Pink Floyd album, although I think that is changing. But I actually do think it is the best album ever made. I actually think it might be.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
As in, just
I
like,
agree exactly with that as well. Might not even be my favorite either.
yeah,
But
it's
it's just the
not.
best produced album. Yeah.
And just like the way everything, like the way I think it was executed just so perfectly. Like obviously the concept is so great, but it was just perfectly executed, and like the story progresses into just somewhere you just don't expect it to go. The sound of it is just amazing. Every single aspect of it I think is just like so perfect. Um, and yeah, they just like really killed it with this.
Huge take.
Yeah.
You'll make
Yeah.
a good short out of that, I'd say. A good
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Completely
yeah,
agree with it though.
best album
Sweet.
of all
Cool.
time, like overall encompassing everything.
Yeah,
Wait, no,
basically.
Yeah.
that's not what you were saying, is it? Oh, okay. It is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it like is in it might just be like technically the greatest album ever.
Yeah, I mean it is fantastic. There's so
but
many
as in it's
little
not my favorite, but like as in if I'm just like looking
mm,
at it like how impressive an album can be and how impressive this is.
Well, we'll see
okay,
next
I
week on
get
Blood
you.
on the Tracks. When we're
Yeah.
doing Blood on the Tracks, it'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that will be
Compare the two.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great listening experience, as you both said. It's like I think everyone probably will remember the first time they've listened to this album. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
and it's so
Was in
special.
bed
I think
right
this,
there.
yeah. What?
Was in bed right there to the
Nice.
right off camera.
Wow,
Yeah.
still remember.
Yeah. Well, it's only about a week and a half ago.
Yeah. But yeah, I do agree that this is probably the best, yeah, listening experience
It is
that one
very
could
it's
get.
very different to like your typical. I mean,
Yeah.
it's different to any other on our tier list.
It does actually make the
And
most sense uh, for albums to be like that in a way.
mm, I probably disagree with that.
Like otherwise, why don't you just release like loads of singles
Hmm.
if there's not going to be such a connection?
It's just a different type of experience altogether. Like you're more, it's more story like, more movie like.
Hmm.
Which how it's done, like it's also intertwined and it's done like really amazingly. But I think
Mm,
music can be all sorts of. You don't have to
Yeah.
have some kind of connected thing with a deep message.
you do, yeah.
I don't think so.
You said that as if you were agreeing with him, but you said the opposite point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for
But
that
we
reason,
dig
Greg.
in, so
Oh
yeah, go
no,
on.
no, I'll just shut up. No, it's okay. Work away.
No, go on.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say for that reason, it's cool. Like I do approach this album, like listening to this album, completely different way than I do. Like every time I listen to this album, I'm listening intently and I'm like paying attention, and I'm like, it is it. Yeah, I do like approach it like as if I am watching a movie. You
Good
know.
thing about it too, though, it actually you can just listen to it in the background as well because it's a really good instrumental, nice background
I
music.
agree with
It's
that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Mhm.
I threw it on also a plethora of times, like just to throw it on and
that's
have it.
fair. Yeah.
Like it wasn't every time that I
Hmm.
really dug into it and broke it down, but it works both ways, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because there are some class instrumentals.
Yeah,
Um,
there is for sure.
they're also like linked in so well.
Yeah, that's
Like
probably the
say
best
like
thing.
yeah, like similar kind of riffs reappear and they get kind of tweaked around a bit and stuff.
Yeah.
We dig in so to the actual story
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
what's going on.
suppose.
I love how it starts off as like a live, like yeah, like at a concert, like it's a live performance, um,
Yeah,
and it just sounds so cool as well. Like that, the opening riff, and also the opening line, I think is just so perfect for the album. So yeah, thought you might like to go to
yeah,
the show.
Yeah.
I love that song actually. I love In the Flesh, the question mark one.
agreed.
Um,
Well, they're both. Well, yeah. Don't want to get cancelled, but Yeah,
I'm
the
not a big
question, the first In the Flesh is better. Yeah,
not a big fan of the
as a
first one. No,
standalone
yeah.
song. They obviously both fit into the album in their own way. Like they
Right.
both
No,
work.
yeah, no, of course, yeah. I was only joking.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the opening riff is so badass. Like it's
yeah,
so
Yeah,
fucking cool. Oh
yeah,
man, that stuck with me. That's stuck in my head since I heard it the first time.
yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah.
it
There's
is
something
also really
like
cool. I agree with you.
there is
How
some
it
kind
kind
of
of like
certain feel to the song that's just kind of
yeah, it's very cinematic,
yeah,
cinematic kind of.
for
Yeah,
sure.
kind of edges you then as well. Like it tells you, you got to find out uh what's behind this disguise and like why.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. You
Uh,
got to
it's
claw
cool
your
that
way
you
through
can.
the disguise.
yeah, yeah,
It's kind of cool how the album's, I guess, yeah, about Roger Waters or whatever, but it's also a relatable song in a way. It can be for people because it's like the development of a person, I guess.
yeah.
So
That's
it's like
fair.
quite. It's actually very general too, while also
Yeah,
being
yeah.
specific at the same time.
Then him being what you said, like, oh, you have to like basically like here's the story basically, and then it goes back to when he was a kid on the thin ice.
It really is
Uh,
like a play in so many
Yeah,
ways. Like that's like the opening sort of
yeah, yeah,
act, and it's like a little
yeah,
tease, I guess. And
yeah, it's getting intense. It's intense right off the bat, actually.
yeah, yeah,
It just gets more intense.
yeah. Yeah, and I like then how it's like basically progresses through his life. You kind of start getting introduced to the whole concept of the brick in the wall, over the next
yeah,
couple of songs, um,
Mhm.
which is like just so smart. So such a, like a great
yeah,
concept.
Yeah, it's so
Um,
cool. Like there's family life, school life, adult life,
yeah,
all discussed throughout it, pretty much. Like
yeah,
the character development is really good,
mhm.
really in
um,
depth.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure, yeah, um,
I know we're probably definitely going to mention this later, but I actually can't resist the urge. I have to say, like the fact that the end of the album,
don't.
like they finally, oh no, I
Why
have
would
No, I
to.
you?
can't say that. I'd say you can.
Like the
Why not?
end of the album when he finally like kind of breaks down his wall, and then the very last line like faintly says, "Isn't this where we?" And then it cuts out, and then the very first song is like where we came in, and then it like loops it back, and he
Yeah,
starts building it up again. That is
yeah,
the coolest thing ever,
It
yeah.
is, yeah, it's classic.
honestly. Like that made the album 15 times better.
It is so cool, but it's
Yeah.
so random to talk about it in the in the
I know,
middle of the
spoiler
story.
alert.
No, it just
Spoiler
shows how
alert.
good
I
it is. You
know.
couldn't resist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
actually had to. I had to.
Another brick in the wall is just such a banger. Such a great
Which all
song.
of them.
Part two is what I was talking about, but I do like all of them. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's it called? Like another part one has like such a really like it has such like a cool vibe to it as well with the like the delay and just the instrumental of that one is way more like there's like a progression throughout all of them. You know
Yeah.
where like the first one's more vibey and then there's kind of more like point to the second one, and then the third one has like an aggressiveness to it. It's kind of more, he's kind of more fed up. Um, so that's cool seeing the progression of it
Mm.
throughout the first side. But
Yeah,
when
the
I said
first
it was
one's
a
a bit
banger, I
more
was talking about the second.
atmospheric.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all are. That's another one of those kind of riffs that's like very prevalent in the main riff of that song, sort of thematically throughout the album. And again, it's just class.
yeah,
Also, how I mean, I know every song bleeds into the next perfectly, but specifically in that section of the album where it's like another brick in the wall, part one, happiest days of our lives, another brick in the wall, part two, and mother.
yeah,
That's the best one. Part two to
It's
Mother. It's so good.
yeah,
I
just
love that.
how that section
Yeah,
just like bleeds into itself is unbelievable.
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Mother's class.
Yeah, that's such a powerful song.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
just seeing how much his mother affected him and how much she had to do with him, with like him starting to build the wall. It was basically her fault and all that because she kind of coddled
Yeah.
him and kind of gave him the idea. Um,
yeah, that line at the end as well. Mother didn't need to be so high.
yeah,
Yeah, so good. Yeah.
Beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, what a song.
yeah.
It's a great standalone song as well.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
good.
that
Same
is one
as
of the ones.
Maybe,
Yeah.
same
all
as
right, maybe my favorite song on the album.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
very
up
likely.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
up
definitely
there.
top three.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a
He does
classic
say
as
that
well.
in like he sounds defeated when he says, "Why I didn't need to be so high" as well. It's really cool the
Yeah.
way he says that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
fades out. Yeah,
Good
Um,
stuff.
yeah, that is a great song. And then the next song as well, "Goodbye Blue Sky,"
yeah, it's class.
is class as
Really
well.
eerie kind of
Really
music to
eerie,
it.
yeah. But the electric guitar, not electric, the acoustic guitar in that is so nice, and with like the ooze and stuff at the start. But then like
Yeah,
yeah, the singing then as well, and it is very eerie and very, I don't know, it's because it's about like war and stuff, I suppose. So
mhm.
It's very hopeless, kind of.
yeah,
That's easily one of my favorites as well.
yeah,
Mm,
No,
interesting.
that's my favorite section of the album. The part you were talking about that flows well too.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that. I agree with that.
yeah.
it's from part one to
Uh, oh, I'd actually maybe say the very start of
Yeah,
disc one, maybe. Even
where.
I do
like
like songs before
the
that.
first half of
Uh,
disc one, the first side of disc one, I'd say.
up
But I like
up to Goodbye Blue Sky, probably.
Okay,
I think maybe then
that's
it's
good.
possible like Young Lust and that sort of part of the album could be where Sid Barrett comes into effect. He was like going insane, I think.
Where
Sid Barrett.
it's like part of his life was taken for inspiration, is it?
Possibly, I'm not sure exactly which parts are supposed to refer to him,
Yeah.
but maybe.
But speaking of Young Lust, like that, I think it's so perfect because like after Goodbye Blue Sky, and then it goes into Empty Spaces, and then he's singing about like, oh, like how do I fill this last piece of the wall and stuff, and that is such an eerie sounding song as well, and like he kind of like drawls it as well with his voice. Yeah, but that final line, like, how do I fill this last piece of the wall, something like that, and then it just kicks straight into Young Lust. And it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
how he does it by just throwing himself into this reckless lifestyle of being like a rock star. And it just like such a sudden hit, like I am just a new boy. Perfect.
Yeah,
That's such
Yeah.
a cool moment in the album, I think.
yeah, agreed.
Um,
Another good standalone song as well. Young Lust.
it is, yeah,
Don't Need Me Now is, and he's just kind of going back and forth about his wife.
yeah, yeah. Because in one of my turns, he finds out that his wife was being unfaithful and all that.
Yeah,
So then, "Don't Leave Me Now" is actually a really creepy sounding song. Like he's kind of like sounding insane in that song.
yeah, you can tell. You can tell by that point he's a bit loony.
The side one then kind of ends with him finishing the wall, completely shutting himself off from the rest of the world.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great imagery.
Yeah, really, really interesting. I remember when I finished side one, I was just like, oh, this is like I was like, where does it go from here? Like he's completely done the wall. I was so excited to get into disc two just to see like where the story would go. And yeah, as I said at the start, like I could never have expected where it was going to go. It really ramps up, like.
Yeah, you don't expect him to turn into like a Nazi or anything.
No, that wasn't my first thought. No.
I will say, I know we've not talked about disc two yet, but the first couple of times I spun this album, I probably vastly preferred disc one, and then disc two then ended up catching up a lot. It's very close now, maybe like 60-40.
It is.
Yeah, disc two it does get a bit crazier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the story is, yeah, maybe not better, but I don't know, more happens, I guess, in disc two.
Yeah,
I
this
do
one is
think
almost
disc
setting
one has
that
probably
spice.
more standalone songs that can be taken away, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
also don't think that's a bad thing about disc two. Like that's not what this album was made for. You know.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Story wise, they both hold their own. Definitely, they're
yeah,
both just as important.
Yeah.
Every song also adds its own like bit of value. There's
easily. Yeah,
no song that shouldn't be there really for the
Yeah.
purpose of the whole story. That's what's so good about it.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, the start of disc two, like the first few songs, it's just like him at his loneliest point and
yeah.
um,
Hey, you was
quite
class.
depressing. Say that
Yeah.
again.
Hey, you was class.
Oh, it
It's
is
really good
class.
at. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah. Him just so lonely, but it's also
sort of
just such
desperation.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. That instrumental part that kicks in is class as well.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Later on in the song.
I guess then, is there anybody out there very similar, like
Yeah.
thematically?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's very nice too.
it is.
Nobody Home, I really love them.
Hmm.
Again, just so much like hopelessness. Just listing out like objects and shit that he owns is just
Yeah.
beyond.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But he's just like, oh, but I don't
Yeah,
have you and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like this part of the album is just so yeah, it's pretty depressing. It's literally him at his lowest point as of so far, anyway.
Yeah, I guess he's realizing the things he was trying to shut out to avoid feeling pain are causing him pain. Bring the boys back home. Then I guess like it refers back to his father a bit to do with the war.
Yeah,
Pretty self-explanatory, I think,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I,
ties into the story nicely.
yeah. He kind of
I was a
And
bit
then
confused by
obviously,
that at first.
mhm.
yeah,
Well, Vera and Bring the Boys Back Home, but it does like war themes. It definitely,
yeah. I think it's just like this point in this like moment in his life, he's kind of just thinking back on a lot of like the things about of his past. Because even in the boys back, bring the boys back home, like at the end of it, you kind of hear like wrong, do it again, and like kind of loads of
Yeah.
different bits from his past
yeah.
playing
Well,
playing in his head.
that's actually really good. I never thought about it like that, but that is really good. How like his brain's all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of just like loads of just
Yeah.
like it's really hectic.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then like
That's
knock
very
knock knock.
reoccurring too. In general, like him being overwhelmed and then doing that with loads of sounds at once and
Yeah, yeah,
even talking rather than singing.
yeah, for sure.
They're really good at doing things like that. Same way with Time as well on Dark Side of the Moon. That there's like the
Mm.
kind of loads of sound at the start, like
Yeah, for
all
sure.
at once. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to set the theme well. They're really good at that.
But yeah, it's cool. He's then kind of like snapped out of his kind of trip into the past, um, because he needs to go on stage. He has a doctor with him as anyway, and he's Pink is
DP.
drugged up, isn't he already? Or basically he's like
Yeah,
unresponsive. Um,
I think
he's
it's just being
unresponsive.
sick, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's just that. But yeah, so they they inject him with some drug to like give him the energy to get up and do a concert, which is crazy. But yeah, and then he becomes comfortably numb and starts singing comfortably numb, which is an
Nice.
insane song.
Yeah.
I never
What a
really,
banger.
yeah, it's so like interesting like listening to that song and just being like knowing what it's about then, because for so long I just like didn't really know what it was about, but
Yeah,
apparently
and
like
people
even
just
that part
do
is true,
about
like
like
that actually
heroin
happened.
usage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. um
That song also has some really nice little details with like sound effects and stuff. Like when they poke him and there's like that
Yeah.
little. It's
oh, I
like
don't know if
just a
I've
little
noticed that.
pinprick.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that either.
You might have to go back to the drawing board and
Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose so. Yeah.
re-listen.
yeah,
Redraft. Yeah.
Um, yeah. But yeah, really interesting, like lyrically, and also really cool solos. Particularly the second solo's insane. It's beautiful. But the show must go on. Ah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back
And
to being
bang.
filled with anxiety, I guess. But yeah, show must go on's cool. Like how he has to, I guess, keep going with things, even though he feels like shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably pretty relatable song for a lot of artists, I'd say.
That's true, yeah, actually. That's probably
Yeah.
like half their concerts, yeah. And then he has to just kind of force
It's-
himself up there. And but I just think it is really cool how they like do a kind of like a reprise of In the Flesh to uh like get across this next part of the story. Um so he's just back up on stage and then he just starts saying some crazy, he's just completely unhinged. Before even that he says like, oh, Pink isn't here, he stayed back at the hotel or something. And yeah, he just becomes like a Nazi or something. Like he's just like at like
Do you want to
what?
read out some of the lyrics for us?
You know what? I was going to, my phone died or something, and I can't actually get them up.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's a
oh,
shame.
you can.
Yeah,
You can be the
your phone's
reason.
good, is it?
Um, yeah, my phone's fine. I'll read them all out for you
Oh
right now.
God, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
No, your phone died. Your phone died. Your phone died. God damn it! Didn't think you'd leaned out.
It's really cool how this In the Flesh like loops back the first one and just brings you back to, I don't know, it just ties in so well. In between some of his lines, like get him up against the wall, for example. There's like two big drum beats in between. It kind of sounds like gunshots.
Okay.
And that's like repeated throughout the song. So it's like get him up against the wall. Like
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
it's really
Yeah.
good use of that as imagery, I guess. Maybe I'm over analyzing. Well, you can interpret it in so many different ways.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't think you're over
Stuff
analyzing. I
going.
think it's I didn't pick up on that, but it's you're probably right for sure.
Mhm,
Yeah.
makes sense.
I can't really take credit anyway for saying that.
Oh,
I'm
what
sorry.
did you? Oh, what did you? You said it as if you were taking credit, didn't you?
I know.
Oh,
I said
you
it
just
as
felt
if I was
guilty.
the one who came up with. I
Oh,
was the one who came up with that. I just
Wait,
kind of.
you saw it somewhere?
Yeah, but I don't know if
Oh,
it's like a
then
fact.
and then you're like, oh, I don't know if it's real or not. Just
Yeah.
take it. No, I just read into it there. It could be true. Like
I was impressed.
I was
I
too.
know.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want you to have me mistaken as someone who actually knows what knows
What he's talking about?
technical and musical analysis.
That's funny.
Sure, we're just average Joes.
We're just average Joes.
Yeah, true.
We don't know anything. But
Should we skip
who knows?
to the his realization? I guess past all the fascist parts.
Yeah, we don't really want to be talking too much about that because I skipped those songs anyway because they're absolutely disgusting and vile.
Don't
Yeah.
endorse.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
to
said
make
I don't like the album anymore when I realized.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. No, but yeah, really cool. Like those few songs, just like so interesting seeing where like his head is at, and he actually proper thinks he's like a Nazi at a Nazi rally, and he's given all these orders to basically attack like minorities and stuff. Really crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's all gone wrong.
Yeah. From In the Flesh to Waiting for the Worms. My brother raised a good point actually. He was saying like if someone was just like, you know, knew a few songs from Pink Floyd, maybe knew, you know, Wish You Were Here, maybe knew Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. They're like, I need to get more into Pink Floyd. So they like shuffled all of the Pink Floyd songs. And then something like Waiting for the Worms comes on. They will be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, true.
They'd be
You
like,
need the context.
yeah.
Go
They'd be like,
straight to
what?
Twitter.
They'd be like, what are these worms that they're talking about? Oh, cheers. And then they'd also be like, why are they saying all these slurs and like talking about minorities and stuff? It would be so crazy if you didn't have any context.
Before we gloss over that, Run Like Hell is another great standalone song. Well, the message might not be too
Yeah.
positive, but
It is,
Just
yeah, for
Good
sure.
song, yeah.
it's got really
It does.
good like rhythm to it as
It
well.
does have really good rhythm, yeah, and like the instrumental is like really, it's actually quite fun on that song. But
Mm.
Guess it
going into
brings
the
us to
song
the
then,
trial then, yeah.
yeah, he kind of snaps out of it
Yeah.
and then into the trial.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, like, I guess you don't know whether he's gonna play lost or not until the end.
Hmm.
But that's so cool at the end, then, like, tear down the wall chant.
Yeah,
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 It's so cool.
yeah.
yeah. Again, a lot like a play or
Hmm.
like just a scene from some kind of
Yeah.
something.
Even
I
that
don't know if
whole
I.
song, I think, it just sounds like a musical. Like, it's very like
Yeah,
musical sounding kind of orchestra, very exaggerated kind of like talking and stuff or singing. Um, yeah, really cool. And you can like, it's like you getting like the kind of testimonies from different people in his lives that
mhm,
kind of helped build the wall, and then seeing it from their perspective, but from his perspective of their perspective, and
yeah.
seeing how it affected
Fourth
them from his perspective. Yeah,
fourth person view.
yeah,
Fourth.
it's really cool.
Yeah, he broke the wall. Oh, he's breaking the fucking wall, or
He's
breaking the
breaking the fourth wall.
third wall, or
First
whatever.
one,
Yeah,
first one.
it's all linked in.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Oh, what's your LinkedIn, Grant?
Yeah.
We're actually so Friday. I was thinking of a LinkedIn joke I could make. Add me. Add
Add
me.
me on guys. Our LinkedIn's are in the description. Please add us up.
Not trying to be unemployed anymore.
Yeah.
Gotta make
Yeah,
this
give us any
YouTube thing work.
opportunities. Give us any odd job opportunities in the meantime before we
Yeah.
blow up here. Just keep us going.
And then
Um,
bang
Yeah.
outside the wall.
I don't actually fully, if I'm being completely honest, I don't really fully understand the lyrics of. I like of Outside the Wall. I get the general idea, but I don't really know what he's saying specifically.
I guess it's just commenting about the people. Like he's built up a wall to keep out all these people, but then some of those people are actually like they love him and they're trying to help him out of it, I guess, and they care for him, and he's like acknowledging that. Maybe
Okay,
I'm wrong. I don't
so
know,
it's
but
him kind of
Yeah.
coming to realize that, is it?
yeah, like they've given you their all.
Yeah.
Um, like I guess him tearing down the wall makes him realize that maybe this whole time he didn't have to build up this crazy thing and block himself out from the world, and everyone has their own sort of wall, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
really fully understand it. The in the trial, well, I will just say actually in the trial, the crazy was in the attic. He actually does sound really crazy then. But why I'm bringing it back to the trial now is because the lyric, there must have been a door there in the wall when I came in. Um, basically him being like he didn't want to break down the wall. He wanted there just to be a door so he could get out, but then
When
easy
he
access for
meets
him
you.
to
Yeah.
get reserve himself back within the wall. Um, I really like that. I think that's kind of really cool. But do you think that's what he's referencing then at the end of the complete end of the album when he said, "Isn't this where we came in?" The way it like leads back into the start. Do you think
Yeah.
like, oh, there actually was like a door, he didn't fully break it down, and now it's just going to lead back into the same old cycle of him continuing to build this wall or what?
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's exactly the thing.
There's
um
something there, Mike. You're onto something.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do think that it is that kind of like cyclical kind of thing, but it's I don't know if that line is a reference back to him talking about the door, and I don't know if it's like it is him saying
I
that he
think it
didn't
is.
actually
Well,
break it down or what.
whether it's referring back to it or not, it's the same idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, that's worth mentioning again. I'd say just how cool it is that it loops back into
yeah.
the start.
Yeah.
Did you
Because bang,
notice
you're
it?
back at
Really
the
cool.
concert again. And
Yeah, yeah, it's
what?
perfect. Did you notice it the first, like, when I threw on the first song, I didn't notice him saying we came in, like at all.
Yeah, it's very faint. It's so
Yeah.
faint.
But then it's so
Very
obvious. Then once you let it play through, it's
Yeah,
really
like
cool.
if you play the last song and then cue the first song after it, and you let it
Mm.
like transition, I guess you can
Yeah.
hear it way better.
Yeah,
Isn't this where we came in?
yeah.
That blew my mind. That's like a twist in the movie in a way.
I don't really like it because it's a shame now that I can never stop listening to it. It's on right now in the background.
It's
Infinitely.
constantly on. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
You were gonna say your top
Okay.
3 songs.
I don't think we do that. Yeah.
I don't think it
There's
really,
more
we
than enough.
really can.
There's more than enough songs. I mean, I get why you would.
There is, but I don't really want to do it, to be honest. I
Yeah.
couldn't really do it. Top.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's so different with this album.
I don't think we need to
Yeah, that's
break
fine.
it down to songs because it's a different type of
Mm-hmm.
review.
For the playlist's sake, I suppose we throw in Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. For the,
Yeah, probably. Or Comfortably Now.
Or both.
Or both. Let's do both.
Quite. It was never.
A couple of free slots here.
Could go anywhere really at the end of the day.
It could go. It could.
This is gonna be a hype moment.
All
Let's
right.
go.
All right.
3.
2.
1. S.
S. Yes. Let's go.
Let's go.
Undisputed S.
Yeah.
Oh,
Consensus S tier.
Might even be our
Undisputed S tier
first ever undisputed album on this tier list, maybe.
S tier.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah, it could be. Now this
Way
basically
too-
clearly shows that everybody watching should listen to the album if they haven't already.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, we
That's
also
been
completely spoiled
unanimously
it.
put into the S tier.
But yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
100%. Definitely, this is 100% the best album we've gotten. I'm glad that the S tier we kept empty with the albums that we got. But this is absolutely phenomenal album.
What a nice way to cap off our little tier list 15 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Right, so that wraps up our tier list of 15 songs now. Yeah, we'll do a recap of this, or review of this tier list at some point in the future, not sure when. And right now we're just going to listen to AB3, Alter Bridge's third album. And that'll be out next Sunday. So thank you very much for watching. And
Part of our.
peace out.
Yes. Peace.
Bye. Thank you. Sweet, guys. Season 1
See you.
done.